What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And of course, tonight we have another Talking Tackle. And clearly it's not night behind me, but I suck about making intros and outros for my Talking Tackles. But in tonight's Talking Tackle, the tackle that we're going to be talking about is going to be Whopper Ploppers. And our special guest tonight, you may know her over on Instagram. She is Lady with Allure, Miss Abigail. Let's get to it. All right, everybody, welcome back to another Talking Tackle. And in this Talking Tackle, we are actually going to be having Miss Abigail. You know her as Lady with Allure.
Hello. I said hello.
Hello. Yeah. So go ahead. I was actually going to say, yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are and just, all that fun good stuff.
Well, like she said, I'm Abigail. Most of you probably know me as Lady with Allure on Instagram or TikTok, YouTube, all the things, but just a girl in Texas who likes to fish a whole lot.
And I am going to say, let everybody know too, you do have like your connection's kind of rough over there, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So
I'm
I know on my end, people are going to see a little bit of glitching, and that's okay. Cause like I said, where she is, I actually had this issue before with when you're in just like nowhere land, because I know you're surrounded by just a lot of land. You're not going to have the best connection in the world. That's just how it's going to be. I have trouble in my own garage, and I live in a regular neighborhood. So I can only imagine how it is being in like the middle of a piece of property.
Right. It's pretty spotty. So if I freeze up, then
but we can, yeah, we're going to make it work regardless.
Okay.
Good. So the tackle that we're going to be actually talking about is going to be the Whopper Plopper. And I know you like the Texas rig too, but that's one of those. I've actually talked about that once now with Texas Babe.
And I watched that one.
Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that, and I love the Texas rig. It's who doesn't? That's one of like the old school favorites. But I do like to change it up. I don't know a whole lot about Whopper Ploppers, so I'm all for it. And I know that you said you also had a specific one that you wanted to talk about. So
I do.
Yeah.
I love Whopper Ploppers. I know a lot of people, I feel like they're not a very common confidence bait, but they're definitely one of my confidence baits for the summer. Especially I have my siren that I had made from Stoneman and Sons, and it's just so pretty and it catches fish. I've probably caught more fish on this exact lure than pretty much anything else besides a Texas rig.
All right, can you hold it up to the camera real quick?
Yeah.
And like, just because it's a little glitchy with your, so we just want to.
We're gonna display her.
There you go. I mean, that's a cool paint job. I like the paint on it for sure.
Yeah, my favorite.
How heavy is she?
I don't know specifically, but not. I mean, it's not just like a huge thing to throw. There are bigger ones. This one's the 100 millimeter, I think, and he has like a 140. So there are definitely bigger ones, but I prefer the smaller.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like smaller profiles, especially I jump, I pond hop, and a lot of the time smaller profile is better than bigger. I mean, it really depends, I guess, on the pond, but a lot of the time sizing down tends to benefit you for the bite.
Yeah, really good.
So why do you like Whopper Ploppers so much? What it is about a Whopper Plopper?
Okay, so I had never used one before ever, and this somebody on Instagram actually told me you need to try a Whopper Plopper. Just go get, I think it was a River to Sea like monkey butt color, and yes, I did buy it because it's called monkey butt.
Hey, whatever reason, that's all good,
right? I know, but for whatever reason, the fish really wanted that day, and I think my second cast, I caught one.
Nice.
And I had never used, it was actually like my first topwater bait to try, and I ended up catching like, I think it was like 16 or 17 fish that day.
Wow.
And 2 of those were over 3 pounds.
Wow.
I know. So I mean,
that's definitely a seller. I mean, it definitely gets you for sure, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, what a better way to grow confidence in a bait than catch 16 fish on it in like 2 hours.
So what kind of like what type of day were you using it? Like and what is your ideal situation? When would you prefer it? When's your season, type of day, water temp, all the fun technical details.
I definitely do better with it in summer. I have caught fish on this thing up to, I think I've caught fish in December actually, which Texas December is
Yeah,
really
it's
different.
like no,
Sometimes we're
what
still in the
is y'all don't even
60s.
do y'all really know what winter means?
Okay, we do because like 2 years ago
Yeah,
we
oh
had
yeah.
snow.
That was terrible. Y'all had
It
y'all
was
just had a
awful.
horrendous time the last couple years, it feels like.
We did, and we like didn't have power for a few days.
Yeah.
We were not ready. We were not ready for
No,
that.
I don't think,
It was
yeah. I mean, well,
awful.
when it doesn't ever happen, it's one of those things. And it's terrible because, I don't think the mindset of, oh, it could never happen to me is never wise because I feel
Right.
like anything could happen. But, as a
Anything.
whole, Texas hasn't ever had that happen. So, like, they weren't expecting it. It was like when
Yeah.
New York got hit by a hurricane, nobody knew what to do. You got crazy
Right.
things happening. But
Yep.
see,
Everybody's
that's
like, oh,
where we
Texas
just
got a little snow. They don't know what to do. And we're like, yeah, we really don't. Like, we're not, we're not accommodated to this stuff.
when
So
we get heavy snow here, we don't know what to do either. I can just admit it. People around here, when they predict like 2 or 3 inches of snow, people go crazy and they end up going like they're having to prepare for the zombie apocalypse or something and just start stocking
yeah,
up on everything. I don't get it, but
you never know.
people are crazy.
They're panickers. We're not going to
Yes.
judge them though, because
Mm,
I was not ready for that. So
that one's understandable. I feel like y'all got pretty hard that year.
we
But
did. We did.
back on subject. So when
Yeah.
it comes to the Whopper Plopper, I'm ADHD, so I'm totally fine with like going
No,
off topic and talking
you're
about life.
good. I
um,
will go with you. Let's go.
yeah.
We're good.
So let's talk about the rod, the reel, the whole setup. Like, what's your favorite? Do you really think about like what you're throwing it on? Like, what makes you, what'll make or break you for the rod and reel combo?
Um, well, typically you're not going to be fishing a whopper plopper in like super heavy, like weeded areas anyway, because it has treble hooks. So I fished it just on my normal setup. I did end up buying, I think it's like a medium heavy rod and reel that it tends to do a little bit better. Just if I do try to cast closer to the bank, because sometimes you'll get kind of hung up in there just to
Yeah.
get it out. But usually if I just use my braid, I'm good.
Okay.
I
So
don't have any
straight braids,
issues.
what you use?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been using straight braid on it.
I got you. And I actually, what's funny is I was talking. Do you know who Ty Berger is?
Yes.
Bass Fishing HQ. Yeah. So
Yes.
I actually just did a talk and tackle with him. I mean, I technically did it a few days ago. My days are getting so smushed right now because I had like
Yeah.
birthdays and crazy weekend.
Mhm.
I mean, it's only Saturday. I didn't even have a weekend. Um, but I talked to him a little bit about some top waters, and he has a little technique that I want to try. And if you like the Whopper Plopper, he does like and I think it was for now. You got me. I got to go back and look again. He does like a little bit of a leader, not like a long
Mhm.
leader. I'm talking like maybe like a foot or so, like a small leader,
Mhm.
and of monofilament for like at the end, and then that's what he puts it on. And then he said like for something with treble hooks, that's what he likes. He for some reason he likes the give with the treble hooks. So I don't know. That's
Yeah.
something I want to try because he teaches a lot. I actually learned a lot from him too. So like I don't know. It's one of those little tips that I wouldn't mind trying because I don't have a lot of confidence in whopper ploppers. I can't even honestly say
Right.
I've maybe thrown one or two. Like I've never really thrown them that often. And I'm sitting here like I don't know why. I think it's because like I told him too, it's because I fish from the bank so much that there's like almost a default with bank fishing at this point because certain things that you throw, you're like, I'm going to end up losing this. So do I really
Mhm.
want to lose this? Because you spend hopper ploppers, don't tend to always be like the cheapest bait either. So
No.
you kind of want to think about where you're throwing it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's
Right.
just me. You got to risk it for the biscuit
No,
though.
I do the same thing. These I think his are like $10 maybe. They're not too
Yeah,
too
that's
too
not
bad.
too bad. Yeah, you
Um,
see them for more for sure.
Yeah, I think the river to sea ones are like 13 or 14. They're a little bit higher.
Right.
But yeah, no, I totally get that. I actually bank fish probably the most often, even though I do have my kayak. I do
I'm getting one
primarily
of
bank
those soon.
fish.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
No,
I
you're good.
You said kayak and it was like a trigger for me. I sold my longer one that I had and I'm going to get a smaller one now because I really want to get it out there. I had an issue with the weight and just the length of it was just too much. I think I kind of overbit the first time for a kayak. So I ended up
Yeah.
selling that one and I'm going to get another one and I'm ready to start doing some kayaking too.
Yeah.
But
Do you know what you're gonna get?
kind of, I'm not entirely sure. There's like a couple on the market that I've been looking at. I'm just trying to see what's going to be best for my budget. I'm looking at one, they're called Hoodoo. There's a 12-footer, but it's only like 62 pounds. It's not heavy. The one I
Oh
had was
wow.
80 pounds.
Yeah.
And this one
They can get
comes,
really heavy.
yeah, oh, I know, right? I was looking at like Hobies and stuff like that, and those suckers are like over 100 pounds. And I was like, what is lifting that on a regular? Like, and like that bass fishing dude, he's doing that on a daily, but he's like the tallest man in the world. You know what I mean? Like, he's pretty tall. He talks about being one of the tallest fishermen out there. He's tall dude, you know, he can lift the Hobie probably no problem, but I'm pushing 5'8" and I can't do that.
Oh yeah. Not I.
No,
Not
I mean, maybe one day, but you got it. Not today.
Just gotta work out a little bit more and then we'll get it.
I got the machine in the background because we're in my other seat. You see, I got the
Oh yeah,
actual
you got the
equipment.
So you're prepping for it. You're
Right.
getting there.
Yeah. That actually is one of the reasons why I wanted to start lifting more, was because I was like, I got to be able to take my kayak and throw it over my head if I have to, you know, but
No, I hear you.
it's insane. And I mean, and I wanted a pedal drive, but I decided that a pedal drive might be not the most beneficial for little ponds and stuff and creeks, just because you know, that I've heard a lot of the times that can you end up getting caught up in a lot of stuff underneath the water. So I'm looking at a rudder system. It's a hybrid. You can actually put a pedal system in with it if you want to. Like, the option's there to upgrade, basically. But.
Well, I have Old Town Topwater 106, and I actually have this I don't know what the word is for it, but where the pedal drive goes in, like the propeller, you can raise it back up, and I have something that actually came with mine that slides over that. It's just like, I think it's like fiberglass maybe, but it just goes over it, so you can kind of rest it back on there. That way you can have your paddle and you can paddle if you need to. And I've had to do that several times. Just if I get in like a really brushy area and I'm scared, I'm like terrified that I'm gonna tear it up like in the middle of the lake or something.
It's not something cheap to think. It's like,
it's
I gotta think about that.
Yeah, and like, you don't want to be stranded. Like, I'm no athlete. It will take me forever to paddle myself back. But so yeah.
Pretty much.
At those, you can get something that goes under it, so you can use it in both situations. So like, if you're in open water and you feel comfortable, you can paddle. If you're not, you can slide that little Dillyma hopper back in there.
Is it like a bar or something like that? I feel like I've seen that option. I'm actually thinking my other one had that option, but like I said, it was 80 pounds dry weight, and that didn't include like anything else. And it was long. It wouldn't fit on top of my car. It was like, it was looked kind of dangerous. It wasn't, you know, the safest thing to put on top of a car. So
yeah.
But see, this is how we get off subject all the time.
That's okay. We're fine.
Reel speed. Do you ever really think about what you're throwing with the reel speed with the Whopper Plopper?
Not really, just because I adjust it so much, just depending, like sometimes you'll notice they're hitting like after it passes. And so I'll just slow down. I mean, you want something that's pretty quick, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. You're going to get that action and that plopping regardless.
I gotcha.
So it just depends on the situation.
And so this was something that I talked to Ty about too, and I really, when I said something to him, I really thought about how I was like, oh, you know, I'm about to have a meeting about Whopper Ploppers too, which is, so do the ones that you have, do you know if they have BBs in them?
BBs? I don't think
this is exactly,
so.
I almost want to play like a play-by-play on this, because Ty did the same thing. He was like, what? I've heard he had on his, there was BBs.
Really?
Yeah. And nobody thinks about it. He had like one BB, like there was BBs in his, and he was like, I've never even thought about it. I hadn't either. So like, I'm actually curious at this
That's
point now.
pretty-
Let me grab
Yeah,
one.
like I'm curious if my River
You
the
like
Sea
see
one-
my camo sweatpants. I'm in comfy clothing.
Oh, me too.
See, look, check that out. I'm pretty sure. So.
Stop. All this time.
Right?
We're
I
like,
had
let's talk
no
about water
idea.
poppers.
I
They
don't
keep
know
giving me
what
names.
made
I
me
don't know.
ask. I had no idea. I was just like, I wonder, you know, and sure enough, he shook it and he was like, there's BBs in there. And so who knows? I guess some do, some don't, because the main sound comes from the actual plop.
Right. But hey, that's a nice little handy dandy feature.
Yeah, just so you know, some
The
do,
more
some
you
don't,
know.
I guess.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know. If you do, you do, I guess.
There you go. I can see everybody watching this video stopping to go and like shake their water.
Everybody, yeah, stop
does
what you're
them.
doing now.
Y'all go try it out.
Go try it. Let me know
It's important.
if
We
yours
need to
has
know.
BBs or not. Let me know the model, the name, all that
The
fun good
brand,
stuff.
yeah.
If they're
Tell
like
us.
one knockers, if they're deeper knockers, if they're little BBs. I'm curious.
Do you catch
now.
more fish on that one?
Right. I
We
wonder.
need to know.
Like, this is
Important
something people
information.
don't know or talk about. This is why I like
Yeah.
talking tackle, because I wondered, and then it just now it's going to be one of those things I'm curious about. I'm going to have to talk about
Yep.
whopper ploppers again, and like have somebody have like a layout. We just need to shake them all out and see what happens.
Yeah. Like, all right, now which one do you catch the most fish on?
Right.
does it have
Now,
BBs?
which one's the most effective? So what kind of colors? What kind of colors do you like?
Well, I mean, I like my girly colors, of course.
Of course.
So I have the siren and I have this one, and this thing has caught a lot of fish, so it is in rough condition.
That's fine.
This one is actually made to match my rod and reel. I have the Abu Garcia Rebel
Oh,
Eye.
okay. So is that like a
So-
custom one?
It is.
Nice.
And then also this one is one of my favorites. This one's a little bit smaller and it's actually a frog plopper.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks like it has like a frog body.
It is. It's a little bit smaller in size.
Okay.
And yeah. It
Yeah,
has
I
a
like
little
that
frog
natural
body.
color too. I feel like that would be the one I'd probably end up going with just because
Right.
it has that natural color to it.
Yeah, no, I get that. But it's so funny because I've thrown like more natural color ones and I don't know what it is, but this is the one that always gets the fish for me. I don't
Huh.
know if it's the pink. I think they like pink.
It has a
That's what I
lateral
like.
line there too, right?
Yes, it does.
So I wonder, I mean, because pink's definitely within their, I mean, blues and pinks are colors they can see, and that lateral line will definitely catch their attention too. So that's cool. I like the pattern on it. It's definitely cool.
Yeah. I just think this one's like my loudest as far as like plopping goes.
Yeah,
So I thought maybe that makes a difference.
makes
I don't know,
sense.
but
because
I'm going with the
sound-
fact that it's pink.
That's fine. What's the biggest fish you've caught on it?
I think it was 3.8, maybe.
Okay. I mean, that's good.
I'll have
I
to- I'll
haven't
have to
ever
go back
caught
and look
one
at
on it.
pictures.
Like, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's cool. Does it give
Yeah,
a
it
good
was
fight?
like-
Like I'm curious as to how's the fight with a whopper plopper.
It does. I just love the blow up.
Yeah.
They're so aggressive when they hit it. And especially when I'm on my kayak for some reason, they love to wait until I'm like right at the side of my kayak
Oh,
and
that's
then just
exciting.
scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Like I'll have
That's always
active
fun
panic
though,
attacks.
for sure. I've had that like
It
gives you
is.
like a heart attack. You're like, oh, I'm awake. Dang.
Yes. So then you have to fight them for a minute and they're just like right there and they're so feisty. But yeah, that's my favorite part is just how hard they hit it. Like I've had fish like come out of the water like 100% and get it.
Yeah, because
They're
that's
so
one of those,
aggressive.
because it is a top water. So it's like the way they're attacking it, they like I imagine some are probably getting enough momentum that they're just coming straight out of the water for it.
Oh yeah.
That would be
Oh yeah.
cool.
They're
to
like
see.
Free Willy coming out of there.
Yeah, that would be cool. That gets the heart going. I think for any bass angler of any sort, like the fight's
Oh, for
always
sure.
huge, you know. But so yeah, I'm trying to sit here and think like so we covered so the rod like length. What's the rod length? I don't know if we went over that.
I think that this one's a 7 foot.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like I've used it with everything, so I don't really know how much of a difference it actually makes.
Okay, so no
Um,
specifics that like do you have a favorite one that you go to? Like is that the one you go to is your 7 foot?
Yes, it is for this, just because I pretty much keep it tied on all summer.
Yeah.
and I'll use, and I'll use that rod for my frog too. So that's kind of like my top water thing. But yeah, that's just the one I use. I don't know that it really, I mean, I'm not a professional.
No, neither
So
am I. That's the
I
whole,
don't know if it makes
that's
that
kind of
much
like,
of a difference, but it doesn't for me personally.
I got you. So how often, I mean, so you say you have it tied on all the time. As far as like hookup ratios, like, are you throwing it a lot? Does it miss a lot? Is there a lot of, like, how's the hookup ratio with it?
I feel like I really don't, unless they're just like hitting after it's already passed over them.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'd say like they're on there because they do hit it so aggressively, and you've got both of the hooks. It's usually this back one that gets them,
Okay.
in my experience. But
I think they're coming. I guess that maybe they're going after that plopper sound for sure. Maybe.
yeah, for
It
sure.
definitely seems to be key.
Definitely. I feel like I don't really I don't really lose fish on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Normally, like if they're on it, they're usually on it. Every now and then I'll have one come off, but it really doesn't happen that often with these for some reason.
I gotcha. Are there any specific like hooks that like come on it that you know of? Have you ever switched out your hooks? I know I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but like I personally haven't.
Yeah.
My experience is limited on that,
Yeah, no, mine too. I've never switched out hooks on anything,
Wow.
honestly. I think these are the Mustad hooks.
Yeah,
I
Mustad's
believe.
pretty good hooks.
So, but I mean, they get the job done for me, so I've never had to switch any out. But like I said, I've never really switched hooks out like that. So I don't know if there is a better one that I would use, or
What it is.
I'm just out here winging it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I am too a lot of the times. One of my favorite ways of fishing is like junk fishing, where I just kind of bring a little bit of everything and kind of
Yeah.
see what works. But I mean, that goes along with a lot of the times I don't, and that's where a lot of people will find where my mistake probably is I don't stick with one thing at a time. So therefore, like I'm not catching hardly any fish, but yeah, I need to change that strategy. I feel like I need to actually stick with something longer. But
me too. I feel like this year, especially this summer, I'm really wanting to grow my confidence in like jigs. And if I don't feel confident with something, I will throw it not long enough. I don't give it a fair chance, and I'll admit that that's my bad. But I always want to go to, I have this amount of time to fish, so I want to use what I feel like will work best.
I want to catch fish. Yeah.
Yeah. So if this isn't working and it's been, 10 minutes or so, like we'll switch it out. I don't.
Right.
So I'm really going to have to work on that too. That's this year. I'm going to have to literally just bring what I want to throw.
Focus on.
Yeah. Because otherwise I will, even if I say I won't, I will switch out.
Same.
So I'm just going to leave everything else at home.
Right. Get mad when I get there because I'm like, I should have brought this, but
I should have brought it.
All you have is one thing. I mean, I really got to do that too. Because like, especially since I've started doing a lot of the talking tackles, there's just a lot that I just don't know. Like I don't have a lot of experience. I'm not a pro. I've only been really doing this hardcore for a couple years, and I don't even know if you consider it hardcore because I've been going out to just like local ponds and just trying to get the thing done and figure out what fish want, but they're so different on other bodies of water. So like, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just dipping my toes into what's really out there, especially after all the conversations that I've had. I'm just like, I really got to go out, spend a few hours with this in hand, but then I got to go out like the next day with a whole nother rig because I want to learn it all. That's my problem is I'm a nerd and I like to learn whatever I can. I feel like I don't have enough time for all of it.
Yep. And like I said, like when you get out there, like you have that time to fish. So you want to catch fish. You don't, but yeah, there's a lot of things that I've just literally never tried because they're not my confidence bait.
Right.
But then you hear other people just swear by them. I'm sure you have these people who are like, no, this is what works. And so you're like, okay, I've got to try it. And then you get out there and you're like,
it doesn't work for you.
For me. It's not working for me.
And it's a matter of, reality is with any rig or any lure or anything like that. It's a matter of you can go out there and see Joe Blow catching them every cast, you know what I mean? And then you're trying and throwing the same thing, same color, same weight, whatever. You can literally be throwing the same exact thing and you're not catching anything. And I think a lot of it has to do with Joe Blow's been doing it for however long he decided he was going to spend on that specific lure. He figured out the cadence that they like. Maybe he
Mhm.
spent more time on that body of water specifically and figured it out, but something he's doing, you're not. It's
Right.
not a matter of the actual lure itself. It's a matter of maybe how you're fishing it. I feel like that makes a huge difference.
Definitely.
I feel like cadence is huge. And like, speaking of cadence,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a good place to go too. Do you have like a cadence that you think of? Does it change with a whopper plopper? Is that a thing with a whopper plopper?
No, it definitely is a thing. I feel like I really just, that's one of the things that I switch up a lot of times, because if you're not getting hit with like just burning it back, you can slow it down. And I'll even get to where I just kind of twitch it. So I'll
Okay.
like reel a little bit and let it sit, and then like do a few twitches, if they're just not biting it. But I do like it because of that. It is very versatile as far as cadence go and like how you retrieve it.
Okay.
So
And I'm
there's a lot of
guessing,
different options.
yeah. So I'm guessing that changes per season and per conditions, and
Per
everything
like
too.
per day, just if I'll
True. That's
I mean,
true.
we're talking about
Especially with
changing things
ponds.
up.
That's
Yeah, per
like,
day.
yeah, that's such a pond truth. I feel like
Yeah.
people don't, if you're not fishing ponds like all the time, it's every day so different. You can literally throw the same exact thing. You have like almost identical conditions
Yep.
and throw the same thing, and they're not taking it the next day. And I don't know if it's because pond fish wise up quicker or what it is, but
I feel like they do.
yeah, me too. It's because there's more people. I feel like the more pressure the body of water is, the more wise those fish are. That's what pressure in my book means. Pressured waters that like you're hardly getting anything. That means you're fishing with smarter fish, I think.
Yeah.
But maybe that's weird logic. But that's why I like going to
No,
more
that's my
pressured
logic.
ponds. It's like if I'm catching the smarter fish, then I'm doing something right. I could go to a farm pond right now and catch all the donkeys in the world. I'm gonna knock this wood one good time, and there's gonna be like this huge like motion going on. But yeah, I can go to a farm pond and feel like I could slay them all day. I would love to do that actually. I just don't know. There's plenty of farms around here, I guess, but I just don't have like the guts to be like, hey, can I come fish your farm pond? I don't know the people, so I'm not like, I guess, ballsy
that's
enough
what
to
I
do
do.
that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's small town USA, so most everybody knows everybody. So I'm like, hey, so I noticed you have a pond back there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah,
can
I
I
don't
swing by
know.
sometime?
I could try that, I
9 times out of
guess. I don't
10,
know.
they
I've
will
never
let
really
me.
thought about it. It's just tougher. I don't know. I don't think I have the guts.
Yeah.
I gotta figure that one out. Cause I mean, that's what my buddy said. He's like, all you can do is ask. And I'm like, I know, but like, I don't know. You never know. People
It
carry
just
guns
looks
around here.
awkward. Yeah. And just knock on your, hey, fishing pole in
Yeah.
hand. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
I'd be like, oh, what's up? But I mean, hey, I have good purpose. I'm not, at least I'm not catching to keep them. I'm letting them go. I like the health of fish. I prefer like I feel like farm ponds are just kind of almost like a gimme, like sometimes,
Yeah.
but that's the fun of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I do want to try to start fishing more lakes too. They're not the closest to me, but then again, I say that and then everybody else tells me the closest lake they have is like 4 to 5 hours. And I have two that are like an hour and a half, maybe an hour or two. It's not that far.
Too far. Yeah.
They're just not too far.
Yeah, some people will drive a long way. I mean, I admire the commitment. I probably would too if I didn't have closer options, but I'm very fortunate. I have like 2 creeks literally right down the road from my house, and I just love to go down there. And
right. The convenience is a huge factor. I think that's why everybody's like, why don't you go to the lakes? I'm like, because those are so far away, and I could literally like walk to half the ponds I fish, and get there quicker than driving to the closest lake. Like, yeah, it's tough when I have a lot of good little
fishing
ponds.
time, like if you're having to commute.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And, people are just looking for the content too. It's kind of like, I don't really care about the rest of it. I want to go out and catch fish. That's the most important thing. But then that also cuts into you're fishing the same place all the time. And how pressured is it getting? And then are you getting bored with it because you're getting to know it almost too well? I don't know.
And sometimes you just want that challenge.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoy it. There's like one pond around here. It's such a pretty pond, and it's like not the smallest, but it's not like huge either. And I love going to it because I know there's big ones in there, and I know they're smart. That's the thing. I've seen the fish get caught once, maybe twice, and it was an 8-pounder. Okay. And like, I don't know if there's more than one in this pond, but I know there's at least one. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know where it lingers, but like that one keeps me coming back. And I've seen 4 and 5. I had a little fly flying around. I've seen like 4 or 5 pounds come out of there too. I've personally pulled out 4. I'm trying to think 3 and 4s like I've multiple times. So I know there's good sized fish, but it's pressured. And so like I
Yeah.
go out there and I won't catch anything. And I'm talking, I won't even catch a dink sometimes. And I'll even have a hard time trying to catch bluegill unless I'm throwing bread at them, you know?
Yeah.
So it just
Some
all
days it
depends
just be
on,
like that.
yeah, it just all depends on what you're after. Yeah, see, I just totally get off subject. So you don't have like a specific weight, but you do say you like them, you know, on the smaller side. Like
Yes.
you said, how long is it? 100 millimeters?
Yes.
Trying to
This one
think.
is.
I'm trying to remember what that converts into. I had it one time because I know a 110 is something like that. I don't remember. My math's terrible right now. But
Yeah, no,
so
it's
favorite
pretty
seasons,
comparable in size.
huh?
It's pretty much the same size.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, what we're saying?
Sorry. I was just trying to think like, so what if you had to like rank the seasons for a Whopper Plopper? I know you mentioned you like it at summertime for sure, but like what would be your worst to best?
My worst to best, well, winter
Okay.
is worst for sure. And then I feel like our fall would be best, which is kind of like most people's late summer. So late fall is probably best, and then really all summer, early summer, late summer, I usually have pretty good luck. Pretty much the only time I'm not catching fish at all is just in the dead of winter.
Okay.
On this particularly, with fishing in ponds anyway.
Okay.
So like a lake, I feel like it definitely does better when it's warmer.
So you definitely tried it in the winter time. I think you mentioned that once, yeah. And have you
Yes.
caught fish on it and everything too?
Yeah, I think
That's
I've
cool.
caught fish all the way up to December in it with it once.
Wow.
But that was in a pond. But you know how it's just so much warmer here than other places. So like I see that and everybody's like, no way. But our winter
Yeah, like,
is not your winter, so it's
no,
different, you know.
Definitely not. Texas fishing, I feel like in itself, I mean, like some of the South states can kind of maybe compare. Georgia maybe can come, but Texas fishing, it's just so different. It really is. It's like on its own over there. And I know that it, like I said, a couple years ago when you had that crazy winter, it was a couple years ago now, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Time gets away from me.
For real. We're already like getting to be in the middle of spring. It's crazy.
I know. It's crazy.
But a couple years ago when that happened, I know that affected a lot of the fishing too, because even the fish in Texas were like, I don't even know what happened. So that was something crazy to see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I'm like going off. Do you have any kind of like, what are some little, like, is any kind of cadence tips or any kind of tricks to catch more fish with the Whopper Plopper?
I would say my only real trick that I've kind of figured out is just, like I said, if they're hitting behind it, pause it. Like I know a lot of people just usually just burn them in.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you pause it, and another thing that I like to do is after I cast, like it'll have that initial splash and then I'll let it sit for a minute and then just like pop it once. And a lot of times within that first like few feet after I do that is when I'll get bit with it.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So if you're having trouble with it, I would recommend at least trying that a few times and seeing if that helps any.
And so this company that you're like involved with, how did you get that kind of like situation, a custom little paint job? How'd that happen?
Well, I had just started using Whopper Ploppers, and I watched a live video and they were showing like a custom one that they had, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And they said where they had it done. They're like, go check them out. And so I contacted him, and I was like, I know you don't really do girly things because, you know, most of these guys are like, they're making baits for guys. And I'm like, okay, so I want something that's kind of pink and blue and a little girly. So, and I really just gave him some creative freedom and a color scheme. And that's what he came up with. And I was so excited when I got it. I loved it. And then like the first day I threw it, I caught so many fish on it. And I was like, yes, this is like my favorite. This is my favorite thing to throw. Yep, I was sold.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then just, I feel like because I posted it, there's not just a ton of baits that are made for women, you know?
No, you're right completely. I mean, trust me, and it's not one of those things that like, it's just tough with those certain colors too, because you want
Yeah.
something bright and
I mean,
loud, you know?
Definitely. And I mean, it's for a reason. Like you want something most of the time that's like more natural looking. But I did have a lot of people asking where I got it, and I just was directing them to him. And he was like, "Hey, I'm getting quite a few orders on this. Like, I think I'm just going to put it on the site if you
Oh,
want to
wow.
name it, and it can be just your pattern." And so, yeah,
That's
that's just how it
cool.
happened. It was just because people were requesting it,
That's cool.
so we
And
just gave it a name.
just curious, you don't have to answer if you don't want, but are you like making a little bit from that? I hope maybe.
I'm pro staff, so I don't
Okay.
make like I get like in-store credit basically,
Okay. Cool.
which I use. So
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
thing.
Trust me.
Yeah,
I
same
know how
thing.
that goes.
Yeah, but he does. I have like some swim baits from him and things like that. So, and
That's cool.
he always takes care of me. So anytime I need something, he's
Hook
actually
you
got a
up.
package coming to me. Yeah, I've got a package coming now actually with a few things.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it works out really well.
That's awesome.
I just love it, and I like to support companies that do a good job, and you want to try to support those smaller companies as much as you can.
For sure. I feel like the special touch, like when they have like communications and they actually talk to you and they work with you, I feel like that's huge. It keeps, good customer moral and everything like that. I kind of feel the same way. I talk to Jinko Fishing and I know them over there and they're really cool. And the responsiveness that comes out of them. And, I just hit it off really well with them. And it's because of how well the customer service is from them in general. Like, it's just
Right.
really cool. I mean, and there's a lot of companies that are very, and I know I called out Jinko specific, but there's like a lot of companies that I work with that just, they're good at communicating, they're not hard, and I feel like that's key when you actually talk to somebody one-on-one. I know, Woo, right? Woo Tungsten.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't? At this point, I feel like they're not necessarily. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if they're considered like the small company anymore. He still considers himself the smaller company. Aaron, the CEO, he actually responds on the text messages. And the Talk and Tackle that I'm actually going to have before I actually post this one is going to be with him. That was actually the reason I was even able to talk to him, was because he actually responds. He said, and we talked about that. I told him how, I was like, I think it's pretty incredible that, I actually have you on the show right now because like you're CEO of Woo, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that was huge. And he sat there and he was like, he takes hours out of his day and specifically responds back to people that text that number back, that everybody thinks it's just that, bulk text that everybody gets when you get on the text list. It's actually him though. At the end of the day, like if you text that number back and he will eventually get back to you, it may not be same day.
That's pretty cool.
But he takes the time out of his day every day and tries to get back to as many people as he can. Yeah, it was a special touch, and it matters that like those little things matter. And especially with the little, yeah, it's everything. Smaller companies almost have it better. You know what I mean? I feel like when people start getting huge, and I don't know if it's their own fault. I know when you start getting bigger, it gets to be more difficult to kind of respond and do all that good stuff. But like, I think it matters. I think somewhere along the way, you need to keep that touch. That's one of those things I don't think companies should lose. If you have it, you should have it and you should keep it because it matters.
It really does. I think just personability in general, no matter what the area aspect of life, people love to have relationships. I love to build relationships with people. And I think that affects you in all kinds of ways. And I mean, social media, for example, these people who actually respond to your comments, actually, interact with your content when you interact with theirs, that makes all the difference.
Absolutely. It's like you even see the gurus, the guys that are out there like giving you advice on how to grow. They're like, stop doing all the stupid stuff. Go out there and actually interact with your profile, make the comments, like the things, respond back, interact. Interaction's huge. Because I've had people, and I'm not like the biggest influencer in the world. Okay. Like I'm not, but I've had people even tell me, oh, I'm shocked you even responded to me. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm
Why?
trying, I'm trying, you know, all the comments, you know, I
Yeah.
hope there's a day where I sit there and I'm looking there and I'm like, I don't know if I can get to all of these today. You know, I'm going to make all
Right.
the effort I can, but the day that I can't in one day, I'm going to be like, that's like a checklist for me. The day I can't get to it all in one day for comments, I mean, but right now it's not like it's hard, and it only takes a few seconds to say a couple of words, you know. People are going to
Exactly.
blow up your inbox sometimes, but
Yeah.
half that
But
stuff's
it's
spam
fun.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fun. I just
Right.
to meet all these people that share passion, and they're just from all over. And
Yeah.
I've honestly learned so much from just people on Instagram. Honestly,
Same.
that's how I learned how to fish. Literally was Instagram and YouTube. Like, I'm not even kidding.
No, me
I always
too.
joke to say I'm YouTube certified.
Right.
But
No, me too.
anytime
That's
I'm like trying to learn something new, I go to YouTube, I watch videos, and
Yep.
then I'll like go to that person's Instagram and like watch them fish,
Yep.
literally. And that's the
how you
best way
get
to
it.
learn.
I
Yep.
feel like, yeah, I like to be considered self-taught in that sense, because like when I first started a couple of years ago, I was going out with buddies and stuff like that. And I asked questions, of course, but when it came to like, okay, I want to know more, like, but
Right.
beyond the Texas rig, essentially is how I look at it. I want to know more beyond the Texas rig.
Right.
And, you know, ever since then, I looked up YouTube videos and I found a lot of people that I've actually gotten the chance to talk to now. Alex Rudd, Tyler Berger,
Yeah,
I've gotten to talk
that's
to, you know,
awesome.
yeah. And it's because of the interactions. They're personable, you know what I mean? They're really them, you know, and I've gotten it embedded into my head now that, you know, you just got to remind yourself that they're just people too. You
Yeah.
know, it's tough because when you see somebody have such a following, sometimes you're like, it's intimidating. You think that sometimes maybe they just don't have the time, but when they actually make the time for you, you're kind of like, cool, man, like, let's talk. I just want to get to know who you are, you know?
Yes.
But
Like, I follow, I'm sure you know who Christine Fisher is, and
yes.
I just love her. And she followed me back a while ago. I died. I'm telling you, I fangirled so hard. And
Definitely.
and so she had posted something, and she was out on Cattle Lake actually earlier this week. And I was like, oh, you're in my neck of the woods. And she responded back to me, and I was like,
Right.
my heart.
Oh, snap. Yeah. It's so funny
Yeah.
how like you can, yeah, it's like people that you're fans of yourself, because I'll be honest, you know, people like Tyler and people like Alex and Debo, I've learned so much and I've watched so much of them that it's become, you know, you're the guy on my TV that I'm watching,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sitting here talking to you. So it's like tough sometimes to not be almost overwhelmed by how not fame. I don't know if fame is the right word, but like how popular somebody is that they actually, you know, give you that. So I've really trying to take a step back from that and been like, it's just got to remind yourself, a lot of them are just people too. Cause like, and Debo was real funny about it. Him specifically, he, my girlfriend and her brother, they both wanted to meet him and they sat down and like, it was kind of funny because he was just like, I think it's hilarious how people want to actually meet me. You know, he's like, I'm just a guy who goes and fishes on the bank. Like I'm nobody in that sense. It was really humbling, but it's like, dude, you teach so much and you do such a good job on YouTube. Like people are going to be fans, and the more you grow, the more people are going to be like, holy crap, that's Debo or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So try to keep that, special touch, I guess. The more people grow to, you know, you get people. Lojo, I talked to Lojo. That video went nuts, like because he actually was cool enough and shared it on there. But he's a big guy, and a lot of people probably wondered how I got the guy's time, and I don't know what it is. He's a cool dude. He gave me the time of day. That's really what it boiled down to, you know. And he was cool with talking to me, and it's humbling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, you're good. You're good. But those people are so genuine too. So it's just like a good reminder. Just be genuine and be who you are, and people will gravitate towards that.
Definitely. I feel like the fishing community in general, I don't know if people really, and of course everybody has a bad egg, you know, but I feel like the fishing community in general is very welcoming.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of overwhelmingly, it's awesome, you know, with how welcoming and accepting of everything, you know, how the fishing community, it's like you have that passion, and it's just everybody just wants to go and fish together. It's kind of cool, you know.
And they want to share things too. Like I've had instances where I was asking somebody a question, you know, trying to like learn how to use a new bait. And they're like, here, like, let me send these to you. And these are what you need to use. Like literally send me stuff out of their own personal collection. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
It's humbling.
Amazing. Like how many other communities do that really?
Right. And like, I wonder, is it because we're just not as heavily involved in other communities? I mean, I'm sure there's got to be other communities out there that are just as like cool, but
I'm sure everybody thinks theirs is a cool.
Right. No, fishing's the best. It's fine.
Yeah.
But there's got to be,
you know, fine.
Right. You know, we're the most humbling. It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree completely. I think it's cool when people, you know, like to actually share things with you. And that's kind of like why I like doing the Talking Tackle, because it's one of those, it's educational, and like it really can, you get to see different people's perspectives about it. And it's like true life, I guess, you know what I mean? Because like we both fish ponds. So we both know the reality of going out and catching no fish is like decently good if you're fishing a pressured pond. So like the reality behind it is you see the YouTube videos of everybody catching fish every day. And you're like, there's just, where does that happen? I want to go there. I know in Texas it might be more possible, but with my local ponds that are pressured, I try when I can get out, but I'm not catching a fish every day. I'll just be honest.
Oh yeah, no, but nobody is.
Right. But that's what a lot of people think. But the I like the reality touch that Talking Tackle brings, because it really does let people see the other side of how, you know, lady with a lure, this is her in real life. You know what I mean? Because I don't do these in the middle of the day, but I'm doing them in the middle. We're doing this one because you're a mom, you know, and you have 2 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Little boy, little girl. I don't know if we went over that.
Boys.
Both boys. Oh, how old?
Got my hands full. 8 and 4.
Oh, ouch.
So, yeah. No, and they're all boy, which is good with me because I think I was just born to be a boy mom. I don't know.
I mean, sometimes you have them. I think that, you know, when it comes to, I know that sounds weird, but like me too, in a sense. I don't have kids, but I have a puppy, and I always want boy dogs for some reason. So maybe that's just something.
My dog's a boy.
Yeah, there you go. It's just a thing.
It is.
But so you know, that's just the reality of life. We're in the middle of the day. We're doing a Talking Tackle. It's cold here. Is it cold there?
It's not. It's really nice. It's like in the 70s, I think.
Oh, so are you like itching to go fish
not
today?
To rub
Am I
it
keeping
in.
you? No, yeah,
no,
thanks.
No, you're good.
You see
you're
the
good.
blue like natural filter here? That's
so
a
like
natural
so
filter.
Here.
That's coming from the overcast coming through the window. That's like because it's in the 40s right now. I'm trying. Where is it? 45 degrees and cloudy. That's what we got right now. That's why I'm in layers. I'm not normally that cold. I just wanted to be comfortable. Yeah. All right. Well, you're inside too. So I was just kind of wondering. I could be inside in a t-shirt. I'd be fine. But out in the garage, it's a little nippy out here.
Yeah. It's pretty nice out today, really.
Oh, are you planning on going fishing today?
I don't know. We'll see. If I have the opportunity, you better believe I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I'm keeping you from fishing, I don't want to keep you from fishing. If it were a nicer day today, I would have been like, I may have gone earlier. I don't know. But it's pretty cold. So I'm not trying to rush to get anywhere today.
Yeah, it should be nice all weekend. So hopefully I'll be able to get out sometime, maybe tomorrow, and get on some, maybe from my whopper plopper.
Are they spawning where you are yet?
Yes, they should be. But I have not had much luck. I don't know. I don't just necessarily target spawning bass, you know? Especially in like the ponds and stuff. Like maybe if it was a lake, it'd be different to me, but I just like to let them be. That's just personal preference.
There's that.
The bite's been pretty tough, honestly.
Have you been catching any males?
A few.
Yeah, I feel like the males.
Nothing of any size.
Yeah, I was about to say, because a lot of the times when you're targeting not spawning, it's a lot of times it's a male that you're typically getting a lot of the times because they're the ones that are roaming around right now. So, but a lot of people do have that preference, and you know that's not a common preference because a lot of people like the ease, and that's fine. I'm all for it. The discrepancies and all that, I get it. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? There's it's kind of an appreciation thing too. That's kind of cool. I appreciate that. That's tough. I don't know if I sit there and necessarily target them. I kind of just I kind of just go as it goes. I target any fish that'll kind of bite my lure. But
Right.
yeah, a lot of the time, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe there's been a few I haven't caught, and I'm trying to sit there. I like fishing mostly in the wintertime. Like when I sit here and I think about my seasons of when I catch the most fish, it's not spawning fish, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's
Really
cool.
winter
I like that.
fishermen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people do target them, and I have like no problem with that. There's been so many studies and things like that. I'm sure it's fine. It's just not what I do normally.
Yeah, it's preference. It's cool.
I
Yeah,
have
that's
beginner
cool.
space. I like
Discrepancy
my
is cool.
space, so it's fine.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and I guess if you actually sat down and thought about it, I bet you a lot of people would be like, I'm really bothering that fish right now.
I mean, the whole idea
mean,
is to
truth
just
be
like annoy
told,
the
I
crap
mean-
out of them until they bite, right?
Yeah, that's true. I did that too. I like doing that. That sounds so terrible. I'll do that to the males. I don't really, and it's because see the females, yeah, of course they're the bigger ones. So people are going to be like, oh, it's a big female. She's going to weigh like 10 pounds. But a lot of the times on the ponds I'm fishing, the ones you see are the males, and the females are just right out of your view. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the males are just sitting there right in my view. So I just annoy the hell out of them. I'll try to get them out of the water, and people will do that to target the females, but I just do it to get the fish right there. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it much.
I'm just out here fishing. I mean, if a female wants to bite, I would not be mad about it. I would
Right.
not feel guilty
like,
about having that 10-pounder.
Right. That's one of those, that's tough, to be like, yeah, well, she's going to be huge though, but
yeah,
it's, a matter of not actually targeting. That makes sense. You know what I mean? If you catch her, you catch her, but don't target her.
Right.
That's cool. I mean,
that's just what I do personally. I know it's not the most popular thing, so it's.
Hey, let's go against the grain. There's nothing wrong with that. It makes all the difference. You you do your own thing. People will pick up on it too. There are people out there that don't do that. So you're not like you're not on your own.
Yeah. I know I've read like so many different things about it just because I was genuinely curious, because you see so many people fishing for them, and just like I wonder if that does make a difference. And a lot of the things I read said it really didn't.
Okay.
So, but there's always those people that will just like attack somebody over it.
Absolutely.
I've seen a lot of that on TikTok. Like if people are fishing beds, the comments are just like crazy. Like, oh my goodness, you guys.
I don't know. I've never really looked at comments to even,
Really? Am I just nosy? Is that what it is?
No, absolutely not.
Me?
No, I'm the lack thereof with that. I know so many people who do that too. I'm not, you know what? If Instagram wasn't a thing and like, if having to keep a presence on social medias wasn't a thing, I wouldn't do it at all. I don't think so. Like I have a hard interaction huge. Like we said earlier, and I feel like that's where I lack a lot of the time. I comment all the time. I really do. I comment to all my comments. I comment back, but I don't know if I do it enough on my own. Like commenting on other people's stuff. I'm trying to get better. So like if you see a lot of comments and they like I accidentally blow up a lot of your stuff, it's because I'm trying harder now. Because I did it a lot today. Because I've actually been watching some of the guys that he's I'm trying to remember his name. I think his name's Brock Johnson.
I think I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a blonde guy. And he's popular, you know what I mean? He's got a lot of follow, but I watch a lot of his TikTok, or I'm sorry, his reels. He does a bunch of reels every day. He's got like dedication for sure. But his whole point is how to build on Instagram. So he stays busy all the time. He's got something he can just crap out stuff, and it's he's busy. But he said, one of the biggest things is like you have to comment, 100 comments every day. And I was like, what? Like a lot, if you did that all the time, wouldn't Instagram really whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I feel like that's where I struggle, is because a lot of people do focus on growth on Instagram a lot. And there's like been some opportunities for potential growth, but it also required you to have like post requirements and things like that. And I have always just really steered clear of that. I'm actually not a big social media person. Like My Facebook is bare. Like it's just like my kids.
I'm the least
I have
on Facebook.
yeah, I have a personal Instagram, and this actually used to be my personal Instagram, but then I was just like only posting fish.
Fishing stuff.
So everybody knows me and they're like, okay, that's enough of that, girl. So I made like a personal Instagram for like my family and things like that, but I really don't post much on there. I just don't want to ever have to be tied to it.
Yeah.
I love social media, and I love my Instagram. I love like making these relationships, and I have so many friends here now, but I never wanted to feel like a job. I never wanted to feel like a task, like, oh gosh, I have to get on here and
Yeah.
go through and make sure I'm liking everything and commenting
Yeah.
everything. Like I never wanted to be like that. That's not a goal for me. So
I know, and I know a lot of people like that too. And I guess that's where I kind of struggle because like for me, I've obviously taken on a couple of, post requirements and things like that, with my, and I do kind of want it to be my job, like I would love to go out there and be able to make money and be able to have my content creation or whatever the growth may be from where I am right now. I feel like my kayak is going to be like that's why I've actually taken the time. And like, so I gave you like the Hoodoo option, but I don't know for sure. I want to really take my time because I feel like my kayak is going to be a huge next big step for me. And eventually I wouldn't mind getting into like kayak tournaments and things like that. And that's got potential money making and, but to fish and make money and, wake up every day and fish for a living, I feel like that's a goal for me.
That would be awesome.
That's the dream. You know what I mean? And with that, I think a lot of the times, there's baby steps and like stairs you kind of got to climb up to. And there's going to come a time in my whatever you want to call it, fishing career, YouTube, social media, I don't know what kind of career you want to call this, but there will come a time where I'm like, okay, there's certain aspects of where I want to actually make money doing it. And so like, I feel like growth is necessary for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I
that's
get that.
that's where I get kind of caught up, and I hate that. I do. Let me just be real. I hate that. It's one of the things, it's like a love-hate thing. Like, yes, I want to wake up every day and fish for a living. And then you have to have the negatives that come with it. You can't, it's a love-hate relationship in that sense.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with just like your end goal. Like you said, like you would like for that to be a potential thing for you. So, I mean, by all means, and sometimes you just gotta do, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Absolutely. So I get that. I think everybody's different, and it has just a lot to do with personal goals and where you want to invest your time. And if you want to be, having to post like however many times a day on social media, and some people do that naturally. Like I know people that do that naturally, and like they're so like that's just what they want to do. And I'm like, that's awesome. I could, I can never. I do good to like post once a week or so, twice a week. Some days I'll post like 3 times a day. I'm like, who is this person? Like,
right? It's like, wow, what happened? Like I used to post, man. I tell you what, when I got my most growth, and I think in me telling myself this, I really want to get back to doing that. But I got my most growth when I was posting 3 times a day at the peak times when everybody was online. You can go in, you can look at your insights, and you can see when everybody's engaging most or whatever. And like that in itself is a lot of work. And some people just don't you just don't want to, you know what I mean? It's not for everybody.
But it makes a difference though. Like if you want to grow, it'll work.
Yeah. If you want to grow, I think posting multiple days, it depends on the platform you want to grow on. And with any of them though, I feel like doing more on that platform will definitely get you further as far as whether you want more follows, whether you want more likes, subscribe, whatever it is, doing more on that platform will certainly get you some growth. But it takes a lot of dedication and time. It literally becomes a full-time job that you're not getting paid for in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm stuck. Physical money is somewhere I'm trying to figure out right now. You know what I mean? Like you have places that'll give you stuff and trade in exchange for a post and these things and that, whatever, but engagement's huge. If I had the views and I had the likes and I had the follows to back it up right now, it'd be easier to get money, I think, actually paying into the pocket.
But I think like that's how you said, those baby steps, sometimes you just gotta grind it
take
out.
them.
I think my thing is like if I have something to say or if I have something I want to post, like I'll post every day. But my concern is I don't ever want to feel like anything I post is not just 100% me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to have to
Absolutely.
feel like, oh, dang, I have to come up with a post today, to meet my quota or do whatever. I don't want to be in that situation
Right.
personally,
Right.
But sometimes if you're trying to grow, if that's like your focus, then that's definitely something that you just kind of have to
You have to.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can
It's one
have
of
fun
those.
with it. And
Oh
there's
yeah.
ways to, there's definitely ways to make it genuine and, especially
Yeah.
when you love it.
I try.
So,
I was about to say, I feel like I try, genuineness is, I try. Like I've gotten so much advice from other accounts of other people that have gotten more, that are a bigger account. And
yeah.
some of the best advice I've gotten from them is to don't be a copycat. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's like being genuine is huge. Um, and it can be tough, I feel like, sometimes when you're in the same niche as a lot of people, because when you're posting, baits and lures and things like that you want to do for the certain companies, it's kind of like, okay, now this picture has to have my special touch to it too, or my special background or the pond that I fish, so like I need to work more on that. Like I'm getting tired of just plain pictures because I feel like my pictures are kind of, I can admit they're just kind of the standard, like I feel like a lot of people kind of take those pictures and
well, yeah, but I mean, there's so many ways you can make it your own. I feel like how
right.
you like, especially with your page, I feel like you're like the way you verbalize things. And also like another thing, I have been obsessed with reels. Like I love doing reels.
They're fun.
They are fun. And
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of a way to like show your personality.
Right. I
I
agree.
mean, I can pretend to be like a super serious like angler. Like I only catch big fish. I only do, that's not me.
Right.
I'm goofy. I cut up. I like to have fun and joke, and I like to make fun of myself.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah. Sense of humor is everything, man. I feel
a
like
lot of times people
that's
like
huge.
to make fun of me too.
Nah. I mean, like I said,
It's
though, a
fun
sense of
though.
humor is fun. You got to be able to. I feel like if you can't take a joke, then you just need to get on somewhere because, like,
For
God,
sure.
jokes are coming all day out of me.
For sure. But, like it just goes back, like there's so many ways to make it your own,
Mm-hmm.
And you can do the same things. You can post the same things as other people technically, but at the end of the day, if you put your own touch to it, it's not like anybody else's. It's going to be
Right.
like you.
That's true. And I feel like you said, I feel like with reels, especially on Instagram, I feel like, or even anything kind of video based, let's say in general, you're talking about TikTok, you can talk about reels, even YouTube, things like like Talk and Tackle. It's like you have almost a better option of being more yourself, I think, on video or like on a film versus a picture. I think you can be genuine in your pictures too, of course.
Oh,
But I
for
think
sure.
you almost have a wider span of being genuine in a reel or on a TikTok or something like that. Because like you said, they're just fun. You can almost get the quirky side of somebody out of their TikToks and how they create their their reels. And I interchange those words so much.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
They're the same thing, different platform,
Yeah.
They even have the shorts on YouTube. I thought about doing that too, almost, because what's cool is I actually on TikTok, what got me hit on TikTok was a knot video. And it was one from an app. I literally just played what the knot did and it blew up on my TikTok. I'm talking like thousands and thousands of views. And I was like, what in the world?
The most random stuff.
Right. What is the algorithm here? Cause I don't know,
We don't know.
And then I started doing tips on TikTok and that got me some views. It really depended. It was like a hit or miss sometimes. And then I did one where I have like a black light kind of set up back here. I have two little black lights and I did like UV line and I did knots. And I thought, oh, this is going to be for sure a hit on TikTok. No, nothing. I didn't hardly get anything on that one. I put it on a YouTube short and it got like 2,000 views or something. And I was like,
what?
Why? You know what I mean?
Awesome,
like, I wish I could understand because the algorithms, I guess they differ that much on what will get the views and won't. You know what I mean? I haven't actually had a reel on Instagram been like super viral or anything yet. I don't think. I guess I haven't really.
You have to go back and
Oh,
look.
you know what?
Like a while after.
There was one that I did like a wacky worm. It's just a yellow and white, like a chartreuse and white wacky worm. And I have it wiggling in the water. And I played this song over it that was like I don't know, some like redneck guy singing about worms. I don't even remember. And it took off. I don't know if you consider it viral, but it took off. People loved it. And I was like, what in the world? Like,
I know. Sometimes
the craziest things.
Yeah, like I'll do like my cast to catch videos sometimes, and I'll spend a lot of time like editing them, and I'm like, oh, this looks so good, and I'll post it, and it does like me.
I just flops. I knew it was coming. You were like, I took so much time on it, and I was like, I know it's coming next.
I know. And then I posted this one reel, and I just heard the audio, and like I don't know what my creative process was with it. Honestly, it was just really random. But it was literally like 8 seconds long. And I mean, I thought it was funny, obviously, because I made it, but it wasn't like, one of my funniest moments. And that thing got like 800 and something thousand views.
Wow.
I know. I was like, really?
What about it? Hey,
I really put like 3 hours into this one. If you want to come watch this one too.
Right. Like I dedicated time.
Yeah. But that's how it always works. I think that the algorithm is a myth. I think that we're just out here winging it. Right? Like, oh, it's the algorithm. It changed.
Yeah, and then they throw different things at you to make you think that the algorithm's changed, when in reality, there is no algorithm. It's just a myth. Yeah, it's a hit or it's a hit or miss. You never really know what's going to happen.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but
right. No algorithm. Show me this algorithm. Is it in the code somewhere? I don't understand. Like what really gets the views? Why? I think that's always my biggest question. Is it's kind of like, what about this? I'll watch some that are so like ridiculous, and I'm like, well, I'm sitting here watching it, but I'm watching it because I want to know why.
And you'll watch it 3 times,
right? And so that was one. That was actually with Brock. One of these days, I'm gonna have to try to talk to this guy because I've name dropped him now. He gave an advice about one with a lot of text. So I did one not that long ago on pre-spawn lures. And he said there's something about when you have the text show up really quick on the screen and you make it a short video, so it goes, in a certain pattern, but it goes so quick that people can't read everything on the screen, right? So that encourages them to watch it more and more and more, because eventually they want to read everything on it, right? Yeah. So I did that one time, and it's actually gotten a good amount of views. I had somebody who was like, oh, there's only 9. And I was like, no, because I put 10 things on there about the lures. And I was like, no, there's another one there at the end. And he had to watch it, I don't know how many more times before he commented back. And he was like, oh, that's too fast for me. And I'm like, I guess that kind of worked. You know what I mean?
You're like, thanks for the views.
Right.
I mean, there's definitely tips and tricks, but I think that they change things because they'll be like, oh, the algorithm is only targeting. I don't know what they said last time, like maybe 5 hashtags or something like that.
Right.
You try 5 hashtags and tell me if that works for you. Because it does not work for me.
Hashtags, honestly, I've heard, and I have to do some more research, but hashtags are not like the most reliable thing to get certain things out of. I'm not sure if I'm trying to remember. I think it may have been followers, that you don't really get people don't get as much engagement from hashtags as they made it seem to be. I always still use like my max of hashtags because it's like anything you can get, why not? But like they say apparently they're not like the reliable source kind of thing. But I don't know. That's if we believe in the algorithm. There's not really an algorithm.
I'm just out here winging it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Hey, I mean,
just winging it. If people see something great, if they don't see it, then it's fine.
Yeah, too bad. So sad. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of people who will make comments. I forget. There was somebody who said it, and now I'm wondering. I don't know if it was you, and I don't want to remember. I'm like, I don't want to mistake. Me? Somebody said something like, I think it's funny how people will take make some kind of bad comment. God, who was that? But like somebody makes a bad comment and then you go to their profile and they're following you and you're just kind of like, what in the, like, why are you talking crap and following me at the same time? If you don't want to see my stuff, then stop following me. I don't get it. Like I'm not going to be hurt. I don't want you talking trash and following me. To be real, I just would rather you not follow me. Let me just be honest with you.
Right. Let me just have my space.
Yeah. Just get out of my bubble, man.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Potatoes
always.
Gonna potato.
There you
It
go.
is what it is.
Yeah.
That's like the most
Oh.
redneck thing I've said today.
That's all right. Yeah, it's just beginning. It's okay. I say a lot of those things throughout the day. It's fine.
It's all good.
But you're from Texas. It's expected over there. I guess I'm from
Right.
Georgia, so it's expected here too.
Yeah, it is.
All right. But all right. Well, we've been talking for a little over an hour now. We definitely got off
Oh, wow.
Whopper Ploppers a while ago.
We did. Sorry.
It's all good. No, that's like
My
I said,
bad. There's only so much to talk about. Let's be honest.
yeah. There's but there is, what's funny is like it's kind of like you go over the generics of it. I like to go over the basics, the smart technical stuff, but the rest of it's kind of like your own experience with a Whopper Plopper. And with just about all the other talking tackles at some point, it's kind of like the truth is, go out there, take a Whopper Plopper, put it on what I would always start with what they recommend if you can.
Yeah.
If not, take out what you got. You got a go-to situation, throw it on your go-to, put it on. Oh, I know. I didn't ask. What pound braid do you use?
For my braid,
Yeah.
I think it's a 20.
Ooh, that's thin. Why
Yeah.
20? Do you have a reason?
No, I don't have a reason.
No,
Just need.
I'm just
I
curious.
told you, I'm just winging it.
I got you.
I don't know. I just didn't feel like any bigger. Like I do have some 30, but I've just been using the 20.
Okay, and it
lately.
works just fine. Are you throwing it
It
on a
works
bait
just fine.
caster or a spinner?
Yes,
Spinning.
a baitcaster.
Baitcaster. Yeah, see, I'm scared to touch like 20-pound braid. I think it's just always been like super thin.
Yeah.
I get worried about that. I don't know. That's something.
I don't know. I've never had any issues.
Oh, there you go.
But knock
on wood
you
for
know.
real. Yeah.
Now I will. I'm messing you
That's
up.
my
Dang
fault.
it.
My fault. I'll call it now. My bad. But
I
yeah,
won't
like
blame
that's
you.
yeah, that's cool though. I mean, that's like I said, that's another reason why I like talking tackle, because so many people will have different experiences. And so when it boils right down to it, it's all going to boil down to your experience with it. So go out there, grab your go-to if you have to, if you can't afford anything else, because let's be real, fishing is an expensive hobby, sport,
It is.
job, whatever it is, it's expensive.
It is.
And yeah, just go out there, tie a Whopper Plopper on, don't put it down. Just try it. That's the best
try it.
advice I've gotten that I don't actually follow.
Right? Just commit.
Don't be
I
like
won't.
me.
But like you should.
Yeah, right. I don't, but you should.
I've heard it works for other people. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, all the people I've talked to say it works great.
yeah, exactly. No,
But
we're
no,
gonna do better. We're
yeah,
gonna do better.
I'm going to do better. See, that's
You can
another
hold
thing.
me accountable and I'll hold you accountable. We'll be
Well,
like,
you
what are
have
we
the Whopper
throwing today?
Plopper experience. What don't you? Okay, so what's something you want more experience with?
A jig.
What kind of jig? Is there a specific kind?
I prefer like just like not a swim jig. I want to
Okay.
learn. Yeah, just jigging in general.
I mean, they have like
I think I've caught like maybe 2 fish on a jig. I do not feel confident with them, but I know they do so well and everybody uses them. So like I know they catch fish. So I think
you're catching on you're catching fish on Whopper Ploppers. I feel like you could definitely catch fish on jigs. I don't know. That's
Right?
like
I
coming
don't
from
know.
me though. Like I've caught fish on jigs. See, that just is all about the experience.
So,
You know
like,
what I
if
mean?
caught
I
fish
have
on
no
jig, you
confidence
can catch a fish on a Whopper Plopper.
Right. I got to catch them on the Whopper Plopper. You got to catch them on the jigs. I like jig fishing. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. It can be, well, it really depends on the time of the year. It can, jigs can be used. They're going to shine right now. I mean, let's just be real. They're going to be good right now. But like I like using them throughout the year. It always just kind of depends on the day when it comes to ponds.
Yeah.
But they just
I
kind
feel
of give
like
a
I
bit.
see people catch them all the time, like all year long. Everybody's using it.
It's
and
fun,
I'm like, can't relate.
Well, now you got to tie it. Now you just got to take like a box of jigs or whatever, the bag. I don't know what the hell.
I might go through a box. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. I mean, because a lot of them have the weed guard, and I mean, yeah, I mean, and you're fishing ponds. So I know one thing about jigs is like if you're going, like let's say you typically throw. Now I'm trying to make sure I'm not being dyslexic here and just completely giving you the wrong advice.
It's okay. I know nothing. So
well, I don't want to do you the wrong way. Then that'd be wrong.
I'll commit to it, whatever it is.
Great. No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah.
When you throw
Get your story straight.
Right. When you throw like a half ounce, typically, I'm pretty sure, or like a 3/8. Well, see, because for me, I typically throw like a 1/4 ounce or something like that. I've always been advised to go with a heavier jig than what you normally throw. Yeah, heavier because of the skirt and everything like that. And it can, like, I guess, give it more a slower fall. I don't know how true that is. That's just been given advice. Like, that's just what I've heard. I haven't actually tried it, but it makes sense, especially when it comes to like pitching and flipping. That's actually where the advice came from, was if you're pitching and flipping, like you pitch and flip 5/8 ounce or whatever, which, I mean, I don't even pitch that heavy, but go a size heavier is what I've been told with jigs. So
Okay.
if you're doing whatever you're throwing, go a little bit heavier with the jigs.
Well, I'll try it and I'll let you know.
Yeah. If it completely like this is not good, I didn't give you that advice. I'm gonna edit this out.
We'll just never
no, done.
Yeah, no.
But all right. So I actually have to get back up to my puppy. He's probably been driving his other mother nuts. But
Sure.
yeah, hopefully you get out fishing. If you get out there and you start catching them on the Whopper Plopper, let me know, because I wonder are you fishing it already?
I threw it a little bit the last time I went out, but I couldn't get a bite on anything last time I went out. So I'm not saying they're not ready for it. I'm just saying that
Not yet.
I think, not yet, maybe.
Okay. Well, hopefully soon. Well, I mean, Topwater's supposed to be catching up soon, so that'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. I had some bites on a frog the other day, so I feel like the time's come.
Yeah.
I just haven't thrown it yet. So.
You start hearing the frogs. I feel like the moment you start hearing them, like on the banks and stuff, that's when they start, like, I don't know if that's when frogs are just starting to have babies or what it is, but you start hearing them go nuts on the bank. It's like maybe a week or so after that, you start throwing the frog and it becomes epic. But,
yep.
All right. Well, I hope to do this again soon. Hopefully you're able to get your connection and keep it stable. It's been decent. Yeah. I'm not even gonna try to knock on wood on this one. It's been pretty good so far. The beginning was a little glitchy. Yeah, the beginning was a little glitchy there, and that's why I was like, oh, we got to make sure we understand, because it was a little bit, that happens. I have terrible connection in here sometimes, but I'm glad you were able to actually make time and get a connection for me too. That's cool.
Too.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been fun, and it's been, great to actually meet you and everything. I know we've chit-chatted here and there, so it's been cool. Like I said, I'd love to do it again. Hopefully maybe in June I might actually start doing lives, but I know that might be hard for you to do because I do them on Thursdays in the evening time. So we'll figure it out. Maybe
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll fish a jig between now and then, so maybe I'll know what's going on with my
There you go. That would be cool. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
Definitely let me know if you're catching anything on the Whopper Plopper.
I will.
All right. I'll talk to you next time. Okay.
Okay. See ya.
All right. See ya.
All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you there. I hope you enjoyed that Talk and Tackle. I know I enjoyed it. I always enjoy meeting new people. Abigail, I had a lot of fun. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We'll have to do it again. And like I said, guys, hopefully coming in June, I'm going to figure out a way to maintain a live schedule. That'll be awesome. But anyway, guys, you guys know how it goes. If we're out there fishing, we're out there catching, and we're out there having some really awesome guests coming on that Talk and Tackle. No complaints.
That. I don't know. That's something.
I don't know. I've never had any issues.
Oh, there you go.
But
knock on wood for real. Yeah.
Now I will.
That's my fault. My fault. I'll call it now. My bad.